cages, soldier, all of us. We're all brought here for the same purpose. This planet is a game preserve. And we're the game.
Predators, a 2010 American sci-fi action film, directed by Hungarian director Nimrod Antal. We'll just call him Nimrod. And this serves as sort of the third actual main entry film in the Predator franchise overall, like released in July of 2010, produced by Robert Rodriguez, who at one time was slated to direct it. It probably would have been obviously would have been a much different movie, possibly more polarizing, but I'm not sure better. He developed the script for this movie in 1994, although it wasn't until 2009 that 20th Century Fox greenlit the project. According to Rodriguez, the title Predators, and I think we all know this by now, has a double meaning. It is about the fact that there are multiple predators in it, but it's also referring to the cast of characters as being a bunch of predators. And I want to say this is the first movie to really kind of tackle that by really having a cast of anti-heroes. You could say that about Dutch and his group, but this one, it's like they're murderers, they're horrible people. But Nimrod hasn't really done much, but he did direct some Stranger Things episodes. But I like Nimrod, and I really think I think he should adopt that single name, as we talked about before. So I really enjoy Predators. What do you think, John?
It's never been one of my favorites. It's never been one of my favorites. On this rewatch, I was telling you before, Ben, on this rewatch, I appreciated the fact that it took itself seriously and has the right approach to the tone. It's not the perfect tone that I've looked for, and only few movies have hit that mark. It plays into what I think Predator 1 and Predator 2 give us in terms of their tone, but it's got a lot of, I don't really get that invested or interested in the characters. There's a lot of really fun, talented actors, and I don't know that they come to life as much as I would like. Some stand out more than others, and we can talk about that. But yeah, just my general thoughts is this is actually one of the weaker ones for me. And a big part of that is I just don't find it all that exciting. It never really gets my blood going the way some of the other films are able to do. And I think that's Nimrod's fault, if I'm going to point it out.
Blame Nimrod. And the thing is that I want to like this movie every time I watch it because I like the actors, but it kind of falls a little flat. And I think it's shot well. It is gorgeous to look at, and I think everyone is trying. For a Predator movie, it just doesn't have the kinetic energy. It's not exciting. I like the movie, but it's boring, I guess.
I cannot disagree with you or John. I think you guys are both right, and Scotty, I think you nailed it. It's like I like this movie a lot, and I love the character actors. I love the interaction. Walton Goggins is great, but Scotty, I think you nailed it. It's it doesn't hit that mark of a Predator movie. It should. All the numbers are there. Everything is there. Everything should be laid out perfectly. We're on this alien planet. We got all these great character actors, but there's something missing. And I think it's probably Nimrod. It's Nimrod. Yeah, it's
blame Nimrod.
For what other attempts, at least the ones we've discussed other than Requiem, they've all gone in different directions. They've found a way to be their own movie. And this one is retreading the original. I think at that point in time,
good.
That's what Hollywood felt they needed to do, was to revert back to, let's make a movie just like the first movie. I even think about the name, Predators plays into Aliens. It's the version in the Predator series that is the Aliens.
Obviously, I find it more rewatchable than you guys do. It's an eclectic group of christer actors. Adrian Brody, Walton Goggins, Danny Trejo, Topher Grace, Lawrence Fishburne, Alice Braga. I mean, Mahershala Ali. Holy shit.
No one even know that he's in this movie. 2-time Oscar winner.
No,
You know,
but my point is like you have all these great actors, and they're playing their characters great. The problem with this movie is like the story's not really progressing in any way, shape, or form, and then
It's
when it does
nothing.
try to shoehorn in like, well, we remember the Schwarzenegger guy, like it's like what, how how does somebody know about that?
that's bullshit that she knows any of that information, brings it up. I also don't like how Brody somehow knows by her reaction that she knows more than she's letting on. I mean, sure, maybe that's a possibility, but like it just leads us to have this big.
Talk about Adrian Brody and his
Oh.
Batman voice.
I'm here. Kill me. Come on.
We're like, these people have been taken from planet Earth to a different planet, right?
They don't know that though.
And the reveal
No, I
of that is
know,
kind of
but
weak,
once
I
you
think.
find it out, then it explains why they their vocal inflections.
That explains why
sound
Adrian
weird.
Brody sounds like Batman.
I'm here. Kill me.
That is the movie's biggest reveal, probably its biggest like kind of original and interesting point is that this takes place on another planet, and that
Yeah.
moment when they find out should be played better. It just it's not really that interesting or exciting
Shitty
or,
movie, I guess.
awe-inspiring moment.
It's a very small budgeted movie with big ideas, and you can tell that those ideas didn't get.
And Ben, this might be nitpicky. This is me, being me. To be honest, the shot they give us that establishes you're on another planet has like 5 different things floating in the sky, 5 different celestial bodies. There's a moment earlier where they're trying to figure out the compass, and he's pointing out, hey, the sun hasn't moved. So he sees a sun.
Yeah.
Well, what the fuck? Just because there's some trees around them, they can't see any of this other shit in the sky. And that
You never
moment
seen a
specifically-
sundial?
That moment specifically, they are standing on a rock face with no trees above them. It might be cloudy, but still, I just find it a little bit bullshit that they can't see that the skies are not right until till 35 minutes into the movie or whatever the moment that's supposed to be a good reveal and still handled poorly.
This movie was shot on location in Kauai, Hawaii. 53 days though. This movie took 53 days to shoot.
It introduces all these somewhat new things to the universe.
Yeah, the
Dogs,
dog.
some type of different species of predators. Like we kind of seen that leading up to this movie, but it's a bit more confirmed in this one where they're battling and they're supposed to look quite different, even though they don't.
Well, they do that in
Other
the
aliens
Predator.
that they hunt
Yeah.
that they do nothing with, those other alien species, and then the Fishburne character, which is like a nice little interlude for a few minutes. It seems very interesting when you first meet him and the setup to his involvement in the movie, but it just peters out within a few minutes, and it has a lackluster wrap up to why he's in the movie and how he gets dispatched.
Yeah, he just wants to kill them for their stuff, but why does he want to smoke them out? Why didn't he just shoot them?
He tricks them into drinking his water source, which he poisoned, and that they all fall asleep. But that's not what happened. That's another movie, apparently.
Can I say I think this movie is simultaneously the most original story to take place after the original, and also the most member-berry movie of the franchise.
Oh, it's really good with its member berries.
The setting
Until the
and
Predator came
situations
out,
make
that
it
one's a
so
bit more-
unique that it's like, hey, remember that? But it also is trying to be serious as like a part of the
I
franchise.
think it
Yeah,
did it.
no, I agree with all that.
I think it
completely.
did a great job.
I appreciate that it did take a serious approach, which fits the tone of the first two a bit better than things like the Predator or the AVP movies. Like, it's not exciting, so I don't hold it highly in my, and I don't rewatch it often, but I can take it. Like, it's part of the series, and its approach is the approach I wish more films took to their movie making. Like, it's serious, but there's no tension to it. Now, if you could combine those two things, that's where you get the movies I really love. They take a serious approach and they find a way to be, like you said, kinetic and filled with tension and excitement. Whatever can get you hooked as a viewer.
But it's almost there. It's like, oh my God, it's like 45%.
The samurai sword. That's what I want to talk
Yes.
about. Yakuza scene, which is just stealing the Billy scene.
12 seconds later.
Well,
Like, we've
actually
all-
showing the fight though. Yeah.
But yeah, okay, so we've all been slightly waiting for the possibility of a Predator versus Samurai movie. Then we get this little nod to that possibility in this movie with the Yakuza guy and his sword, and we actually see a fight, and it is fucking boring and over in a few seconds. They had their moment that
I
we've
liked
actually been
it.
salivating for, and they blow
I liked it. I liked it too.
This had been directed by Robert Rodriguez. That would have been a fucking amazing moment.
Yes.
And awesome. If Robert Rodriguez had directed this, it would be a much more energetic film. It'd be way different in terms of its tone, probably, which I was just praising that I liked its tone, but I think I'd rather take just some fun action over what we got. So I kind of wish Robert Rodriguez had directed this, but
it meanders, it takes too long, but the characters are there. All these actors are like sitting there waiting to like give you their best performances. I love Walton Goggins.
Yeah.
Walton Goggins for me is a standout. I love him.
I'm a big fan of Adrian Brody in this.
No, he's fine, but like Walton Goggins gets the least to do in the script, but makes the most out of it.
Hey, you know what? Fuck this. This is bullshit, man. I want a gun. Come on, man. You got 2 motherfucking guns, man. Somebody give me a gun.
Like he's like a guy cuffed, with like he's completely handcuffed, but he just makes so much out. There's one line that doesn't age very well where he's like, "Man, when I get out of here, I'm gonna be me some really good looking." That doesn't age well. That does not age well.
And the other standout, I would say, does the same thing. Topher. He's just kind of being
Topher's great. Well, but Topher does have a big pivotal moment in this where you're like, holy shit, I did not see that coming.
That is kind of the one reveal that kind of works in this movie that is really interesting.
Nobody saw that
really
coming.
Works.
Yeah.
And they did enough to set it up.
But there's no way on your first viewing you saw that coming.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
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 I mean, I don't feel like the movie has that strong of in the kill department. Goggins, just because it's your classic spine pull. Every movie has one, and they're always good. So
and he gets his sort of, I don't want to say redemption because he's a there's no coming back from that, but he does have a hero moment.
You know what? I've forgiven my rapist.
Yeah, I've forgiven mine too. My dad's best friend was such an asshole.
No, don't go further. This one is another one that shows them hunting in groups, but not. That's kind of my point. Also, is that it does these things, but it doesn't really build on them in all that much of an interesting way. It adds factions and I guess different races of predators to some degree, but it doesn't really explain it all that well or build it out all that well. It introduces the dogs, which seem pretty lame. They get worse in the Predators, but
yes, they do.
They're not great in this movie either. That was a perfect opportunity to introduce one of those other skulls we had already seen, or just another species that made this interesting. Their connection to the Predator, whether they're a threat or just prey, that could have been really interesting, and they do nothing with it.
$40 million budget, worldwide gross $127 million. Most of that, surprisingly, was overseas. Only garnered up $52 million domestically. So
now
it
you're
really
making me.
It's not a success. $40 million budget. That's a lot of money. Well, it's nothing compared to these days.
In what year?
Well, that's the thing. 2010. It did get 127 million. So do we consider that a success?
I think it made enough money that the studio was interested in a sequel or continuing in the direction that this went. Ultimately, they changed their mind, course corrected, and we got a pretty bad movie.
Okay.
The Rotten Tomatoes score is 65, and the audience score is 52. So it's got some high marks.
Okay, that's not bad.
It's got high marks. I would pick something like Alien vs. Predator over this, but. The Predator 2018. The film takes place in October of 2018. It has a scene that takes place on Halloween night, so we can assume that it's around that time. And I believe it's like in Ohio, most of the movie, which is not a specifically hot setting again for a Predator movie. It's Ohio in October. That's not hot. The movies are all over the place on where the Predators are willing to go and hunt. But in this movie, they're not really hunting. They're, again, like cleaning up a mess and trying to hunt down a different predator. The movie is directed by Shane Black, who was an actor in the first Predator movie. He played Hawkins.
I was going down to my girlfriend. I said to her, "Jeez, you got a big pussy. Jeez, you got a big pussy." She said, "Why did you say that twice?" And I said I didn't. See, it's because of the echo.
He went on to, well, he wrote a bunch of movies like Lethal Weapon and a number of awesome action movies from the 90s, like Last Boy Scout and Long Kiss Goodnight. Eventually got directing gigs, starting with Kiss Kiss Bang Bang. After that was Iron Man 3, or at some point was Iron Man 3. That put him on the, Hollywood radar as considered kind of a big blockbuster filmmaker. He did do a really great movie in between Iron Man and putting out this piece of shit, The Predator, that was The Nice Guys. That's a totally different style movie for that's more Kiss Kiss Bang Bang style movie. I know there's studio meddling with this movie, but I do put some of the blame on Shane Black. Some of the ideas that I know came from him are not really that great in this movie. Like, the cast of this movie is actors, people. I don't know their names.
I watched it. Kind of.
This movie is trying to be a fucking SNL sketch for 90% of its runtime.
Oh my!
Yeah, pretty much.
And then when it tries to be a Predator movie and throw in the Predator music, you're like, go fuck yourself.
No.
I appreciate the score. Kind of goes back to its roots after a couple movies. I mean, Predators uses the score a bit as well, but it had been a while. It's a nice return to hear the score. It's very bloody and violent when it needs to be. It's like the
Predator.
It doesn't have enough action and enough violence ultimately, but some of the moments, like in the early scenes with the body hanging and like the skin hanging off of it, and then it gets chopped in half. Like, those are some pretty good moments of gore and violence.
Olivia Munn saying, "Did you say eat my pussy?"
Eat your pussy.
Wait, what?
How you doing?
No, you just said eat your pussy.
Like, why is that in the movie? Okay, you wanted to show her slightly undressed.
No, it's supposed to be.
I thought it was supposed to be vulnerability.
It was It's supposed to be. She went into an area that was really cold, and so she got naked, so the Predator didn't see her.
Yeah, it didn't care about
she
it.
wasn't.
Well, no, she's unarmed and nude and in the cold because you can see her ship.
Very cold.
I didn't get anything
Her
about that being
nipples
cold.
pointy.
But whatever. Like, the whole point of, like,
Either way, she's fucking smoking hot. I'm gonna throw something out. This movie's a mess, but after watching it again,
it's the best movie ever.
Let me
Favorite
finish.
movie.
For the first time watching it since its initial release, I find it more entertaining than I remember. It's really dumb. It has its moments, but it also has its moments of like, why did they decide to do that? But I have to say, after rewatching it last night, it's kind of a fun movie, I guess.
Well,
it's really
that's how
stupid.
I took it the first time. I came out of it, we did our review, and I was like, I don't know. I had fun with it because I saw Predators fucking people up. It's been a long time.
Shane Black is kind of a standout comedy writer more than I'd say an action director. I think the writing in the film, it's not like a great screenplay, but I think some of the jokes really worked for me, which was surprising.
I think I was just happy to see Predators fucking people up for 2 hours and enjoyed that experience. After knowing what you're really getting in with this movie and seeing it multiple times now, it's terrible. Like,
it's a piece of shit.
It's a giant.
John.
I kind of wish it didn't exist in the Predator universe, because the Predator universe is a lot better to not have this movie in it. But yeah, messy script, messy editing, messy Predator progression. Like, they do so many, you guys were pointing out, they do all kinds of weird what the fuck shit with the Predators that don't make any sense with the previous movies. I kind of wish this movie, instead of having the storyline with the kid, which everything about the kid is just shit and terrible, and he's a really good actor.
God, when he's like on Christmas or not on
Halloween
night wearing that thing, I'm just like, dude, what the fuck are we watching?
The Halloween scene is so crazy. The kid fucking kills somebody.
Yeah.
The helmet just blows a house up and kills a dude, and we just move on. The story doesn't not care at all.
This whole movie, the second act is about a father and son trying to bond And the father keeps telling the son, killing is bad, but then he just keeps murdering people in front of his son.
Yeah.
Or if your mother's vagina was a video game, she would be rated E for everyone. It's like, dude, what? What?
Well, you
like
know
you
what?
fucking did that? Like
Some of
that's
those
so
stupid
bad.
jokes are what I like more. Like if I'm gonna say I like any of the dumb jokes, it's kind of those jokes.
But
Your
when
mama
it,
jokes and stuff.
you keep hearing about how these are like elite soldiers and they're like badasses, but all you get is they're like weird things. Like one's like Tourette's and one's like a
Well,
comedian.
that's why they're the crazies.
No, I know, but when it comes to them actually fighting, like you don't believe it at all. When they're like,
Oh,
"Oh,
yeah.
we got our machine gun," like you're just like, "No, that's just Key and Peele like shooting a machine gun."
Yeah, yeah. Agree.
You know, say what you want about Predators, man, but this movie is just a fucking absolute mess from beginning to end. The digression of like the predator species, where they're like, now they're like trying to help us because they want to take over our planet. Oh god. Best kill in this movie for me is when the like the fucking 15-foot tall predator just goes like busts the head of the original predator. You're like, oh shit.
And then he does the spine pull.
Yeah, boy.
Yeah, he does a spine pull.
You get to see a
And
predator.
it's got the green, all the green shit.
This movie's so freaking original and awesome that it takes time for the hero to go take a shit.
It's like, what the fuck are we doing? What the fuck? Dude, the fact that you liked this movie when we first saw it, I'm like, what the fuck?
The consensus between almost everybody was that the jokes were one of the parts that worked. Why are the jokes and the fact that the tone of this movie is kind of comical ruin the movie for you guys?
But I don't remember what I said. We also drank a lot.
Nah, we were
doing
drinking a lot.
Predator freaking beer bongs and shit.
I don't know. What do you guys think about the dog that goes like retarded when they shoot it in the head? It's like, oh, I guess I'm like your friend now. Ooh.
It's a plot device to show up later and save somebody or some
I
bullshit.
guess it's kind of cute, but like, is
Yeah.
it stupid or like, I don't know.
Well, I think it's now a Nimrod. The new bigger Predator has heat vision and the little audio stream on the side, even without wearing a mask. So somehow he's seeing a digital readout through his own eyes. Maybe there's an explanation behind that, but it doesn't make a whole lot of sense. Like, I get that certain Predators we've seen not have a mask and still see heat vision, but they don't have their little audio sidebar as well. So that didn't make any fucking sense. Human hybrid DNA splicing. For some reason, they're trying to splice their DNA with humans, and they think they're going to get advantages. Clearly, they're going to go after the kid with autism because he's like the next step in evolution, and they're going to somehow use his DNA to improve themselves. Whatever that bullshit is, it didn't make a whole lot of sense. There's a one line, this is the first time I even noticed it, that at the end of the movie, instead of the reason why they all end up in the forest getting killed, like Sterling K. Brown and his group and all the soldiers end up in the forest and get killed, is because when they're at that site or whatever and the Predator attacks, there's one line where someone says, oh, it must have hacked the vehicles. None of them work. Oh, we'll have to leave on foot. Just like, I don't even know if you guys caught that line, but like apparently,
I did, yeah.
And then another line that is mentioned by what's her name, should have taken her shirt off. She says something about like, hey, did you guys see that? He has an exoskeleton under his skin. I don't even know what the fuck she was saying about that or implying there.
I had no idea what that meant.
Now, I only read that as maybe that's the explanation for why he is able to see this vision when we think he's not wearing a mask, because he technically is with some exoskeleton thing that they explained. But the movie does not do enough to make that clear of what they were talking about.
No, it doesn't even try. It doesn't
No, they're just throwaway lines. And I know this movie was edited, and there's probably stuff on the cutting room floor that would have helped it, but you can see with what did hit the screen, this would still not have been the right tone for the Predator universe, and it still would have been messy. And the jokes, whether you had a few that landed that didn't make it into the movie, the ones that are in the movie aren't good. So it's just like, I don't think some of the missing scenes that maybe the studio got involved and made this movie even messier, it was already going down a path of being a pretty bad Predator movie. While rewatching it, I was kind of paying attention because I feel like that came out of nowhere when we saw it. Didn't make sense. Didn't even know if I had seen it correctly. Like, wait, did that thing just blow his head off?
It makes more sense in the second viewing, but it's still, you know.
But what I caught in this extra viewing of it was he asks how it works, and Olivia Munn is the one that tells him how it works, and he's like, "Oh, cool," or whatever. Right before it blows his head off, she says something to him. I couldn't exactly catch what she said. I think she just
Mecha
says
like a high mecha Chani ho.
not quite that. I think she just says his name, which to me wouldn't be the reason it triggers, but it's almost like she knew, because what she says to him, she says it senses a threat and it fires on it.
Yeah.
Like, that's not the exact wording, but she says,
no,
like,
it's not her that says that. It's the kid that says that. Yeah.
Is it? I thought it was her.
No, the kid says like, yeah, this thing, you know, it works off a sensory, like, yeah, it shoots by itself. Yeah.
What I wasn't sure if what it did was she may have been standing on the opposite side of him holding a weapon and spoke to him, and that was enough for it to feel triggered to shoot at her, but it blew his head off.
They never show it though.
That's the way I read it in the viewing that I just had.
It's such a fast cut though.
Yeah, it's
like,
cut so
it's
fast.
really weird. And then you just have one of the worst scenes I've ever seen in any movie ever, where they're just like, hey, the spaceship is, the cloaking device is coming on.
Do not talk bad about my best kill.
I
My
love
best kill
Oh,
is
the guy whose legs get cut off.
Jesus
He's
getting
like,
his legs chopped off. That's the best kill of the movie. I love it. And I kind of like that. I like the technology. Like that makes sense to me.
I actually really like that character. I didn't want him to die. But
yeah,
he was like a sweetheart, you know.
That's my best kill. Its budget was $88 million, the most expensive Predator movie to ever come out. It made $51 million. Basically half of that on its opening weekend, $24 million.
It tanked. Yeah.
I mean, it had like an all right $24 million, I guess, start. That's not great. But yeah, it tanked immediately and barely made any after that. $51 million. But still worldwide. These worldwide numbers are crazy. 159 was still a success worldwide.
Predator is the best movie of the franchise. But Predator 2, I like to watch more, so that's number 2. And then controversial take, Predators. I like Predators. I love how it takes itself so seriously. It feels like a successor to the other movies. And then I got Prey.
And you can be honest, it's the Batman voice that holds it so highly for
Oh my god, yeah. Prey may surpass Predators one day, but after that, AVP, because it's a functional movie. It's not a terrible movie. It should have been, but it wasn't. And then obviously the Predator, because Requiem may be the worst movie ever made, so that's last place for sure.
Ben, my ranking's basically the same as yours. There's just one slight variation, I would say. Predator is my favorite. I can say that I think it's my favorite, even though, I agree with you. Part 2 is almost more rewatchable, but as I pointed out, the Bill Paxton factor does confirm that it would stay below Predator 1, even for rewatchability, in my opinion. So Predator 2, very close though. I mean, Predator, not very close, because Predator is a perfect movie and in my top 20. But Predator 2 is just, as we all gushed over it, it's such a really good sequel. But the next I would go with Prey. I think Prey in fact, I really like that now there's almost this slight kind of trilogy of Prey, Predator, and Predator 2, which ends with the gun. So it is kind of this nice full circle with Prey.
Yeah.
And that's actually a really cool trilogy that you get. And that's why I wish that Prey would be more like Predator in its reveal of the creature. So you could watch it first and kind of get that same, like someone who is new to this series could actually start with Prey and still kind of get the same feeling you get while watching Predator. Next would be AVP, because I do really like AVP. I think it's got a lot of great stuff in it. I think it's got a bad rap, which I don't agree with. Next after AVP would be Predators, just because it's lackluster, but I still like the tone. After that would be The Predator, which is a giant mess. Wish it wasn't even part of this series. Wish I could kind of forget it. Does nothing good to move the series along. And thankfully, like I said, Prey is now the direction we're headed. And the last one is AVP Requiem, because I'm on record as saying that's the worst sequel of all time.
When it comes to The Predator, the standout performance of The Predator has got to be the joke about Olivia Munn getting her pussy eaten.
Yeah, exactly. I think
Want
some candy? Get to the chopper.
Eat my pussy. Eat my pussy.
Eat my chopper.
Want some candy?